Welcome back. It's Techie. We're here. This week's topic is about why is it so hard to get a graduate job?
Yes, sir. But before we get into that, let's start with a cyber word, which is something that we hear about all the time.
Data breach.
So a data breach is when a company leaks your information, or otherwise it can be like leaving your door open, but instead it's your bank details, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Perfectly said. So how could you minimize a data breach?
That's our jobs, isn't it?
Correct.
Cybersecurity professionals, we're trying our hardest, but the attackers seem to be 2 steps ahead at all times. But yeah, next time you hear about data breach in the news, that's what happened. A company's has leaked your information, or their information has leaked, and that's what it means.
100%. And what I add to that is it's for organizations to really have a proactive approach, stay abreast on what the latest emerging trends are and fixing them before it's even an issue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And always doing secure by design.
Mm-hmm. But let's get into this episode, because this is one that's going to relate to a lot of our family, our It's Techie community out there, regarding the sort of graduate scheme job fiasco out there. But we started this episode because we got an interesting and sort of a heartfelt question from one of the community members, which actually really hit home with me, saying that I've applied to 100 jobs, but what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. I'm sure most of us can resonate with this. This is it's very common.
It's like deja vu for me, because you were in that position, I was in that position. I feel like everybody's in that position. They apply to so many roles that they just get used to the rejection, isn't it? Rejection's normal.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, that's it. That's the point, that it's normal. So don't be disheartened about it. It's very, very normal. And if people are telling you otherwise, they're lying. They're capping. I'm calling cap.
Yes, sir.
So with that, is, you know what, there's multiple variables as to why it's not successful. Again, listen to our previous podcast episodes where we have delved into it. We will definitely touch on it now. So how many rejections is normal? You can't put a number on it.
Yeah.
I think what you need to do to navigate that or pivot that or turn that no, which is next opportunity, to being secured, I feel the only way that you're going to do that is by learning from each experience. We need to fine tune as we're going on. Where is it going wrong? What stage am I getting to? Is it the application stage? Am I passing that, but then I can't get through to the video interview stage, or not passing that? And then if it's the video interview stage, is it because I'm not able to concisely give a point, or am I not answering the question? Am I not using the STAR techniques? And then failing, and then going to the further stage, am I going to an assessment center? Am I not able to comprehend the task that's given? There's multiple reasons. So it's really learning from each experience and fine-tuning that to be successful for when it comes around.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that, Kash?
Yeah, rejection's normal. We've all had it. This graduate scheme is different to the rest of the job market. Job market is tough at the moment, and it has been for a few years.
It's cooked.
It is cooked, but the graduate sort of circumstances that people find themselves in it's a numbers game.
100%.
You've got to apply to those 100 jobs to get that one opportunity of an interview, maybe, and then half a role or something, like, you know what I mean? So like it's like something like you apply to 100 jobs, 90 of them you won't hear back from, 10 of them you might hear back from. You might get 5 interviews, you might get 3 assessment centers, and then 1 leads to a role.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about here. It's a numbers game.
Yeah, it is. And I just want to add to what Kash has said. You need to make sure, even though it is a numbers game, you need to apply 100% effort to all of those applications.
Yeah, you can't just be chucking in willy-nilly ChatGPT sort of use AI, utilize it to your advantage, but don't just rely on it. You've got to apply with your got to fully think it out. Because what if it is that role and you've just applied with this standard chat GPT response, and then when it comes to the interview, you can't remember what you've said. So you need to make sure, I know it's draining. I can relate. Trust me, I can relate. But it's perseverance. It's adding another stripe to your bow, isn't it? Showing that perseverance. It's all well and good talking about perseverance on your CV, but do you have it?
Exactly. And I think even when tested, it will be quite apparent if you do or don't have that. So really be able to back your talk.
Yeah.
Don't play yourself. It's hard out here.
It is hard. It is hard because there's not sort of one. We can't give you the It's Techie sort of copyrighted tricks to success, can we? There is no sort of secret sauce or secret sort of recipe that's gonna get you that graduate role. It is very much perseverance, numbers game, applying to as many jobs as you can, but applying with fully thought out and presence of mind, peace of mind, and why you're applying to this job. It can't just be a job. There's got to be genuine interest, I would say. Sometimes you've got to toe the line of what's a white lie and a flat out lie that you're not interested in the company at all. But you've got to have done your research on that company and why I want to apply there. Aside from, it's just going to be paying me and it's going to be my opportunity to the industry.
True. Due diligence, it doesn't go unnoticed. You definitely do it. Again, that's just another little gem of how you can pivot that. But like I said, really understand why you've been rejected. So if it's like you're not getting past just the CV or application stage, you review your questions, your answers to the questions that they've asked. For example, in cybersecurity, whether organizations will admit it or not, but when it comes to certain cybersecurity roles, you need to have or be eligible to pass security clearance or DV clearances. So if you've come from, if you weren't born here, you're automatically going to fail that question that they were asked to prompt. And as we know, if the answer is no, you're automatically disregarded now for their candidate pool. So it's really understanding what you're putting in and why you're getting the result, and then looking for solutions around that. Maybe you want to look for roles that doesn't require security clearance. Maybe you want to look at roles where it's private sector, where it may not be as important. There's ways about it, but be intentional and really understand why you're not getting where you're getting through. Really have a hard look at yourself. And if you can't do it and you struggle to do it, then by all means, speak to family members or people in the industry. They'll be able to advise you.
Yeah, and we can relate. It's techie. We know that it's tough for everyone that's applying to these jobs, because it's just draining, isn't it? But you've got to keep that confidence. You've got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I got this rejection, but you almost got to turn that negative into a positive, don't you?
It does. These rejections don't define you.
Exactly. It's like, okay, they rejected me, but it's their
loss.
They're
it's not your loss.
Exactly.
It's their loss.
Exactly, their loss. I move on, and whichever company gives me that opportunity, they're going to get the real deal, isn't it?
Yeah, man. That's what I say. You need to stand 10 toes firm on the ground, your head held high, and your chest poked out. Exude that confidence. And like I said, no means next opportunity. So don't even fret about it. I'd be lying sitting here if it doesn't take a toll, because it surely does. But you know what? Rest assured that you are going to get there. Your day is coming. And if you just have that positive outlook or mindset on securing a graduate role, you'll be successful. Because that, again, I'm only telling you what I did and what worked for me.
Yeah, but I think we have got to bring it down to bare bones and sort of relate to the people out there, because we've heard this a lot. going around that it is a bit of a broken job market. Would you agree with that statement?
100%.
Why is it so damn broken?
I don't know, man. Obviously, it doesn't help that the world is. Okay, I'm going to speak specifically for the UK. That we are going through an economic crisis. It's not helping. By the day, it's getting worse just by cost of living. And if that's what the general population is faced on, then it also puts a burden onto the employers and the numbers they can keep. And they're working with minimum numbers to upkeep what they need to do. So again, that doesn't help the situation, but these are reasons as to why it's cooked.
Yeah, but let's call a spade a spade. So why are these employers pissing around, to be honest? Why does an entry level job need so much experience? An entry level role in the wording, it says what it is on the tin, isn't it? You should be not looking for this is what I say to people, you're not going to go into your first role in a graduate scheme and be the best consultant out there if you're in a consultancy.
Absolutely not.
It's about having the adaptability to build yourself into a great consultant.
Yeah.
So, I do relate to the graduates out there. They're saying that, but they're asking for this many years of experience. They want us to be the consultants before we even get taught how to be a consultant.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is where I'm going to have to hold employers accountable now. Pattern up on the job ads. So you're telling me, in example, you're telling me there's going to be a job role for a graduate cybersecurity analyst. You're expecting 5 years of experience, and then you're expecting them to have, let's throw a cert in. You want them to have
CompTIA Security Plus or something like that.
Yeah, no. Let's add another one that you'd expect for a higher level, maybe like a CISM or a CIS SP, SSP. Sorry, these are cybersecurity qualifications, but you only want to pay 25 grand. It don't add up, man.
Yeah, and I know our US listeners are going to be like, "What? People are getting paid 25 grand for entry level roles?" Yeah, that's how difficult it is out here
crazy.
in the UK.
So you're expecting 5 years experience work on graduate pay. Nah,
make sense. It's not making sense.
It's not making sense. There's no valid justification as to why that is. It's crazy. You need to sort out the gap. And if you're going to ask for 5 years experience, you need to bring 5 years worth of money.
Yeah, something's not adding up. We know that these large organizations, revenues and profit margins are getting larger and larger by the day, but their payment packages, their salaries are not. They're not even. Forget that. They're not even lining up with inflation in certain circumstances.
Yeah,
they're not keeping up. They're not keeping up with inflation. So, yeah, stand up, big organisations. Pay people their money if they're doing good jobs, which they are, because otherwise they wouldn't be in a good job. And
compensate them accordingly.
Exactly. And what is really disrespectful is that, and I had this a lot during that whole graduate period, was that you just get straight up ghosted by these big companies, almost thinking that they're too good for you. Why do these companies not even bother to reply to an application?
It's true, but Kash, are you aware of like ghost campaigns?
No, talk to me.
So by ghost campaigns, there are companies that are putting out job ads with no intention of hiring anybody.
So they're just they're dangling a carrot there just to tease us and get people's hopes up.
Yes, but I don't think that's their main intention. I think that's just a byproduct of it. It's collateral. Right.
That's just, yeah, I think that's in bad taste. I think that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would come off in jest, for sure. But yeah, there's many reasons why companies do that. I can appreciate the job market is cooked, so there may be thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of applicants for the one role. Yeah. But yeah, again, I think employers, so I'm gonna have to hold you accountable again. If someone's taking their time to fill out your long ass application that's taken 3 hours to do, you owe them a response. It's common courtesy.
Yeah, because like you said earlier about when you get a rejection, you got to break down which stage you've been rejected at. what are we taking from a ghosted application?
Thank you.
We can't take nothing, can we?
No bueno.
That is just, like I said it before, disrespect at the ultimate, to be honest.
No, it is. And employers, again, if this is new to you or you're not understanding this, really take heed to this. If you can offer feedback, please offer feedback. That feedback is invaluable and is going to help that person. Yes, you may not have been able to give them that position, but you can have them at least walk away from the experience of actually learning where they went wrong and maybe what they need to do to be successful elsewhere.
Yeah, these big organizations, I sometimes think that they're just too big for their boots.
Yeah.
They think they're not good enough for us. They're not going to be good enough for anyone. Whereas if you gave that individual that feedback, they could have built on that, applied to a different role, and been extremely successful in the new role that they got. And you never know, 10 years down the line, they might have the experience that your company needs, and you're going to be begging them for to come to your company.
It's true.
So respect. We've talked about it on earlier episodes. It's a two-way street. Organizations want good people to do good work, which leads to their bottom line and their profit margins, but they won't pay them the money. That seems like respect is only flowing one way at the moment, and we need to balance those books for sure. So we're here with you, the graduates. We hear you. We're experiencing it too. We know the job market's cooked, but keep pushing, and we've got to hold these companies accountable. And eventually, hopefully, if enough of us do, then we can change how things roll. To be honest,
it's true. So then that leads beautifully on to the next part. So how does one stand out? What actually works?
Again, I'm not using this as a cop out, but there's not one thing I can tell you, or I can't give you some secrets, because there's people that have got jobs, these recent graduate roles. At the start, they've just been lucky to get through those. Now AI is screening applications, so there you go. You've got 50% yes, 50% no, or whatever the percentage is. So that's just luck. You can't.
But don't you think it's fair to say luck actually stands for labour under correct knowledge?
Wow, you're coming out with these statements, these acronyms. I'm loving them. But at that stage, no, I wouldn't. I disagree with that. At the start, whether you get a yes or no from an AI bot, I think is very... you can't define that, or you can't quantify what's worked or what hasn't worked.
I disagree, because yes, we're going to say AI is being used in recruitment, and to be specific is ATS.
Mm-hmm.
And this is now going back to my acronym, labour under correct knowledge. If you understand how ATS works and you're putting certain keywords in, you're narrowing the gap.
So speak to us. What is it? What is this ATS? Sorry.
ATS is an algorithm that recruiters use, and what it does, it deciphers a CV, picking out keywords. So if it picks up, let's just say 70% of keywords, that person is worthy enough to proceed to the next stage. And that could be a telephone interview, video interview, face-to-face interview. And that's just purely off of that. If you fall short of that benchmark, hypothetical of course, then you won't be contacted. You will probably get the auto response email saying, do I even need to say it, guys? We've seen it, man. I've got hundreds in my inbox before saying, we regret to inform you that you've not made it on this occasion.
Well, there you go. I didn't know about that. We're putting you on game. Don't say it's techie, don't help out. So do your research about ATS. What keywords?
100%.
Thank you for enlightening me. I didn't know about that. So I will definitely be using that in the future and researching that. But
there's things you can do. Be proactive. Like if there are people in roles that you want to do, because it's happened to me. I've been contacted by people on LinkedIn asking me, oh yeah, you work for X organization, I'm applying. Is there any guidance or game you can give? Yeah, I don't owe the person any response because I don't know them. So I don't owe them anything. But being bold enough to ask is bridging the gap. It's these little things of using initiative that is gonna get you there.
Yeah, and that actually works, isn't it? That's a sort of tried and tested path of, if you network with individuals, there's no back door to get you into these graduate roles or other entry level roles out there. It's not like, oh, I've made a connection at the company now, they've opened up a secret passage for me to definitely get that role 100%. But it's very, very valuable.
100%.
I know I used it. I'm not intending to apply to this organization, but I'd already made a connection, and then comes out a year later, I kept in contact with that connection. A year later, I needed to apply, and then I applied to the same organization that connection works at, and he helped me out. He knew some of the names, so I knew how to approach the interviews. This is obviously at the final stages, and that's not malice. That's not a bad intent. That is genuinely how things are done in the big wide world, isn't it?
You gotta help yourself. You gotta do what you've got to do. I don't think there's anything morally wrong with that. I think that's a beautiful thing. And again, we touched on it in a previous episode, but I'm sure you've now fostered a mutual respect for one another, despite the original premise.
Yeah, definitely. Like, so if I find I'm junior in this circumstances, so I won't be finding any roles for this individual, but if they find anything that's positive, they don't even have to be in contact. I don't speak to this person for months or maybe even years, but they'll think and remind me of a conversation I had with Kash, and I know he wants to go to this field, and then they might put you on. I remember you said in the previous episode that you had a connection, that you knew their daughter wanted to go into law, and you just sent them the advert. So that's what you do, isn't it? We're practicing what we preach. Now we're in the industry. If you approach us, if you meet us, then we'll put you on game, and that's what we're doing through It's Techie. You reach it, we're going to be putting these graduate roles out there, these internships, these different opportunities, and also just educating on generally what's going on in the tech environment, showing you news and articles that are just educating yourself and making you a well-rounded candidate. But we're doing that just to help out for the community, because people have helped us out to get to where we got to, and we're not at the top of the mountain yet, but we want to return that favor, and that's what our main goal here is. It's Techie.
Yeah, man, want to send that ladder so you can climb. We're all trying to be on the table, man. So please, if you didn't get anything out of this in terms of standing out, you need to take yourself out of your comfort zone and do things that you're not comfortable doing. And again, it's still in line with your morals and stuff, but you need to use your initiative. If someone's in a position you want, think outside the box how you can get that information. It's what's going to make you stand out.
But playing devil's advocate, some people just say, oh, I don't want to reach out. I don't want to cold DM somebody on LinkedIn. It's a bit cringy. I don't see it as necessary. I'm begging it a little bit. What would you say to those people?
Well, do you want to stay at home, not being paid, not on payroll, a wasted degree? Come out your feelings, man. It doesn't help you. It's actually doing you a disservice and an injustice. So yeah, man, I'm not trying to hear any of that. I'll be real.
Yeah. Get out your comfort zone. If you don't reach out, somebody else will reach out, and they go.
100%. At the end of the day, who wants it more? If you're not willing to do that, you don't want it enough.
Yeah.
And then that in turn shows why you're in the position that you're in.
Yeah, it's a scrap. It is a scrap. We'll come back onto it. There's 1 million graduates and there's 17,000 graduate roles.
Mm-hmm.
You got to fight.
How bad do you want it?
Yeah. And you got to be selfish with your journey, because your peer that's reached out because they weren't in their feelings, or they weren't overthinking or procrastinating about, oh, I don't want to reach out, I don't want to beg it off this person. They've got the role.
Yeah, it's true.
They're onto that next step now and building, and
Yeah.
You just because you inhibited yourself, because that's what it is. People inhibit themselves. We're guilty of it. You don't want to do certain things because sometimes it doesn't seem natural. But I would say when it comes to corporate, when it comes to networking, general just adulthood, to be honest, it's very much different because you don't learn this in academia. You've got to reach out to people, and
It's true.
yes, you'll get a bunch of ungrateful, unhelpful people out there that will just sort of bore you off, but there will be those sort of gems and those people that can make real impact and help you out.
It's true. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm going to say it one more time. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yep, I hear that. This relates to this struggle of not getting a job relates to another question that we had from the community, saying that because I'm struggling to get the graduate role that I want, should I just take any job just to get experience?
No, I don't agree with that. You need to be intentional. I do believe from a role, there's always going to be a form of transferable skills. So I'm not opposed to it, but be intentional. Like I said, for example, when I was studying my degree, I want to be paid to talk. I want to be a cybersecurity consultant. And I want to be in GRC, cyber assurance, in that realm. That's exactly what I do. And I feel like when you're locked in tunnel vision on what you want, you will make the right choices to make that happen. So for me to do the role that I wanted to do in the community, for a member of the community whose question that they just asked, I would only entertain roles that's going to help me get to that. I wouldn't just do any and everything. You have to be intentional with it. And like I said previously, if you know what you want and you're locked in, you will convey and exude that energy to any recruiter.
That's quite interesting because you're almost describing being a little bit tunnel vision, aren't you? So just zone in on your target and just shoot. But if you do miss, because like we said, people are applying to hundreds of jobs and not getting the role, then would you say, we can relate to cybersecurity, I want to be a cybersecurity person, or I want to be a GRC analyst, I want to be a cybersecurity engineer, getting a service desk job, valuable? No?
It would help. I think in the example you've just explained, that's worthwhile because you have to build to get to where you want to get to. Sometimes it just doesn't happen as easy as you would like, and there's certain positions. But as long as you've still got that same goal in mind in what you want to do, and it makes sense, then yeah, it's worthwhile.
I think it's just about being efficient and not wasting time, essentially.
That's it.
So whilst you don't have that role that you want, what are you doing about it? Are you doing extra certifications? Are you building home projects, networking? Just generally going above and beyond.
Have to.
And showing something different. Because we had it before. How do I stand out? That's how you stand out. By doing not anything and everything under the sun, because you don't want to spread yourself too thin. But what the stuff that you're doing, you need to know that I'm doing X for Y result.
It's being intentional. It's doing what people are afraid to do, can't be bothered to do. That's what's going to make you stand out.
But it gets to a stage, wouldn't you say, Broski, that you just start worrying, don't you? You've been persisting for so long that anxiety, however you want to call it, you do just start. It's natural. When should you worry? Is there a stage that you should worry, or do you just keep pushing? Keep
pushing. If you really want it, again, it proves how much you really want it. Just keep pushing. You have to. Like, if you really want it, there is, say this loosely, there is no plan B. You are going to make it happen because that's what you want. And I feel if you have that discipline, that mindset, you will reap what you sow. So if you're putting these hours in and you're being intentional, you're going out of your comfort zone to do certain things. I don't see why it's not gonna not happen for you. As long as you're being smart about how you're going about doing things.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you used the word discipline, because that discipline is passion is the initial thing, isn't it? Passion, motivation, whatever you want to
100%.
call it, is that idea of, oh, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a project manager, I want to be a cyber professional. But the sort of discipline for every day, keep chopping away, keep plugging away at that goal and moving slightly closer. Some days you might feel like you've taken 2 steps back, but in a roundabout way, you've actually taken a step forward. And that's all it is about, isn't it?
Brick by brick.
You worry sets in and anxiety sets in everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but you've got to have good people around you.
Yep.
People that, you can just talk to and vent, but also that are going to be like, come on, broski, you need to step up.
Yeah, people that are going to hold you accountable, because we do have off days, man.
Yeah.
Come on, even Superman can't be Superman every day.
Exactly. And Superman's got his kryptonite, doesn't he? So
exactly.
we've all got our weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just it sounds like empty advice when people say keep pushing, because it's all well and good saying keep pushing whilst you're in a role. But if, like we said earlier about secrets or any game that we can put the family onto, is that is it. You just got to keep on pushing. You got to just keep on moving forward.
My last take on this specific bit would be, for me personally, I can be content if I know I've tried my hardest and I've tried all avenues. But what I can't live is what could have. If I've tried everything, then I can be content in that, and that's absolutely fine. But to know that I didn't do or couldn't be bothered to do, that will eat me up more.
Yeah. Regret is one of the worst feelings. Like, you've got to go to bed at night knowing that, okay, yes, you have your days that you're a bit useless and you haven't made any progress. We all have those. Sometimes they come around too often, but you just got to keep pushing. I know I sound like a broken record, but there is no better advice than I could say, is that just keep on chasing, keep on following out for your goal, because then what are we here for? But you got to enjoy the journey, though.
Have to.
When you're not in a job, you'll be like, oh, I want to be in a job. Then when people are in jobs, then they're like, oh shit, I'm too busy, get me out of this, or something like that. You know what I mean? Or you can always be, when you're in a job, you want a job, so you're comparing yourself to that person that has the job, and like, oh, they must have the perfect life. When you're in the job, you're looking at, I don't know, Bob, Mandy, who's in a senior position, saying they're earning $100,000 or pounds. I want to be in their position. And they're looking at the CEOs and this, that, the other, like, I'm taking instructions still off people. I'm looking at the CEOs and they're ordering people to do this. I want to be in their position. You can't compare yourself to people that are not in your nobody's in your circumstances. Circumstances are called circumstances because they're very situational and they're very personal to you. But comparison, this is a quote of the day from your boy Kash, comparison is the thief of joy. You cannot compare yourself and put yourself in somebody's shoes when you're not in their shoes, are you?
It's true.
I've always been, I can relate to this personally, and I fall on this, is that you're always comparing yourself. I surround myself with a lot of, just by nature, I've got a lot of older cousins and this, that, and the other, so I'm always comparing myself to people that have, when I was doing my GCSE, they'd already graduated, this, that, and the other, and I think that I should be there.
Mm-hmm.
You're building, you're on your own track.
Yeah.
You're not, nobody makes 100% the right steps. You might take 2 steps backwards, but that writes your journey. So we're not the sort of spokesperson for academia because we didn't like academia the most, but we're in positions that we knew that we could get to because we had that perseverance.
100%.
So yeah, don't compare yourself to anyone. Keep on pushing, and you will get that goal. There very much is a light at the end of the tunnel.
you know what, a couple points on that. Surround yourself with people, with good people. That I think that's key. You need to be around with people that encourage you and hold you accountable to do what you need to do. Like, I think it's probably the easiest way to say it. If you surround yourself, if you're one of 10 friends and you're surrounded by 9 successful people, you're automatically going to be the 10th one if you're not successful yet, because that energy is harbored, is around you. You feel it. There's so many things that you will learn and pick up that will make you successful. So if you feel your environment is hindering you, you really need to check yourself. And if you don't feel it's hindering you, really check and see if that's the case. And I guess my final point on this is I'm gonna quote Meek Mill. He's a rapper. He sang a song, or raps a song called Dreams and Nightmares, and he basically said, you got to grind like this to shine like that. Are you prepared to grind? And again, if you're not prepared to grind, you can't be upset while you have the result you have. That's it.
Keep on grinding, keep on hustling, and you'll get there. All right, let's end on a positive note. That's a lot of deep conversation for one episode.
Yes, sir.
Let's brighten the mood a little bit. Let's end on these quick fire questions. So let me hit you with these. LinkedIn or Indeed?
LinkedIn.
CV length, should it be 1 pages or 2 pages?
2.
Ooh. Cover letters, are they dead or not?
They died probably when Queen Elizabeth died.
God, that's too specific. Referrals, are they fair or unfair?
Unfair.
Ooh. So let me respond to those. LinkedIn or Indeed? It's like choosing the best of two evils, isn't it? I go LinkedIn because there are some more positives than there are with Indeed. CV length, I'm very much a 1-pager, short, sharp, and get to the point.
Okay.
Covers letters, they died long time ago. Long time ago.
Oh, so before Queen Elizabeth, like...
Yeah, we're talking like probably like Prince times or something.
Prince times, that's great.
And then referrals. Okay, this is not going to be a quick fire response. Referrals, I can get into this quickly because
Go for it.
There are those people in the industry, and I'm not just using, I know we hear this in the celebrity culture about Nepo babies, but there are Nepo babies in corporate that have got jobs because their parents have had X connection or this, that, and the other. And as long as people aren't, I feel like as long as people aren't entitled to those positions and they don't think it's their God-given birthright to get those positions, as long as they've fought for it, then fair enough, because we'd be the same, wouldn't we? We want our kids to be successful, so we'll try to line it up for them as much as we can. But yeah, referrals for me are fair, as long as the candidate has shown enough sort of fight and grit in the rest of the application phase. It can't just be straight to, oh yeah, you accepted the job.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. So I hope you enjoyed that episode, everyone. And remember, what we're trying to get at for this whole episode is that we're very much with you, and we can say this wholeheartedly that getting your job is way harder than the actual job, isn't it?
100%. So really, like, lock in, reach out in the comments if you've got any queries or questions. If you want to add to our community questions, please do. We do this for you guys. So essentially, let us know, because that's what's going to shape our future episodes.
Yep. Appreciate all the love, family. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace and love.